Environment has provided us different things like water, soil, forest, wind, animals. These all are resources, provided that should be technically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. So we can say that everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable, it is called resource. Now in this image we see nature is at top. On one side it has technology and on the other side it has institutions. So this image shows us that technology, nature and institutions are interdependent. And secondly, human beings interact with nature and technology and develop institutions to accelerate their economic development. Classification of resources. The resources are classified into 4 categories. On the basis of origin, on the basis of exhaustibility, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of status and development. First we will study on the basis of origin. It has 2 types of resources, biotic resources and abiotic resources. The resources that are obtained from biosphere and contain life are biotic resources, like plants, animals, fishes, human beings. Abiotic resources are the resources which are composed of non-living things and do not contain life, like for example rocks, metals, water, soil. Second classification is on the basis of exhaustibility.
Sources which can be renewed or reproduced. Physical, chemical, and mechanical process are called renewable resources, like geothermal energy, sun energy, wind energy, biomass energy, hydro energy. Non-renewable resources are those resources that can be renewed or reproduced immediately. Once they are exhausted, they take millions of years to regenerate, like coal, natural gas, petroleum, metals. Second classification is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, we classify resources into 4 categories that are individual resources, community-owned resources, national resources, and international resources. First, we will study about individual resources. Individual resources are those resources which are owned privately by an individual, like plot, house, book, car, van, field. Second is community-owned resources. Community-owned resources are those resources that are owned by community, like parks, picnic spots, lakes, grazing grounds. Third are national resources. All the resources which are under the control of state and union government are called national resources, like minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife, and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles from the coast that are termed as territorial water. And last are international resources. These are resources which are not owned by any specific country but are regulated by international institutions. This also includes sea area which is beyond 200 nautical miles of any country. Now we will study last classification, that is on the basis of status of development. On the basis of status of development, resources are classified in 4 categories that are potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserved resources. First, we will talk about potential resources by taking example of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Both states have large amount of solar energy and wind energy, but we cannot use them because of high investment cost. So potential resources are those which are found in region and have potential to satisfy human needs, but utilization has not been started due to high investment cost. The resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity has been determined for utilization, and they are currently used by humans. Such resources are developed resources. Second are developed resources. Resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity are determined for utilization and are currently used by humans are developed resources. Third is stock. Let us understand with example, like we know water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, but we do not have any technology to separate hydrogen and oxygen from water. So stock are the resources which have potential to satisfy human needs, but there is no appropriate technology to access them. Last are reserved resources. Like for example, we have technology to access many resources like water for us, but we reserve them for future needs, so we can say that the resources which can be utilized with the help of existing technology, but we do not use them because we kept them for future requirements.